Are there any products out there in the quantum computing space that the product designer can work on? I was wondering the same till I started digging more 3 years ago. I'm here to give you an overview what are the products out there in the quantum computing space that the product designer can work on. Hi, I'm Agnieszka and I am product designer, and for the past 3 years I was working in a quantum computing company called IonQ out of Washington, D.C. The first product that we are going to look into is a quantum cloud console. IonQ has a quantum cloud and also a console, so this is an excellent opportunity for product designer to come in and design experiences for the quantum cloud. In this console, we are working towards creating experiences for admins that are managing quantum research and also quantum developers. So what are the quantum developers doing in this console? They are primarily submitting jobs, monitoring their progress, debugging, and also retrieving the results. So as a designer, you would be working on this experience for quantum developers to see a lot of jobs at the same time, be able to find what type of job they are looking for, be able to stop the job, cancel it, find a particular job, see what is the progress, help them recover from any errors they encountered when they submitted the job, and also be able to allow them to retrieve the results in whatever format is preferable for them. And then in terms of the admins, admins would be managing the quantum research, and they would be working with projects to which they can assign a specific budget, invite specific people. It helps them to organize a research if they have multiple initiatives going on at the same time. So as a designer, you would be helping admins basically perform that research, also organize and manage the users on the platform, for example, like assign specific budget for the project, give access or not to give access to specific hardware, etc. The other platform that I would like to mention is Quantinuum. Last year they released a product called Nexus, and on their documentation we can find some snippets of the experience they are building. So as you can see, a product design can work on a multitude of different organization, profile management features, security features, which are pretty normal and basic for any cloud product. So there shouldn't be really anything different in the cloud quantum space, but basically these are like concepts taken from the cloud space. Similarly to IonQ, we have project management, so that will be something for the admins to take advantage of, but also there's extensive features on the job management. So as a designer, you would be helping users find the right job, be able to decode what went wrong with the specific job, retry submitting that specific job. And also what's interesting is you can dive deeper into a specific circuits that they are submitting. So you will be providing users with visual tools to represent these circuits, be able to run these jobs multiple times, so like find a way to replicate, for example, the operations they want to perform, things like this. Basically find a way how to categorize and tag the data that it's used in these quantum operations and make it basically easy to reproduce the results they are getting, iterate on it and get to the better and better result. Again, as I mentioned, bunch of collaboration tools such as like access control, again very similar to what is happening in the cloud space, but also interestingly we have a backend table, for example. So you as a product designer, you would be providing a clear overview of like what backends are available out there, ability to filter those backends, allowing users to pick the hardware, the backend that they would like to run on, etc. So these are two cloud platforms that as a product designer you can work on. Then we're going to jump into IBM Quantum Platform, probably like the most known console out there. As you can see, it's utilizing IBM design system. Designers that are working for IBM might be put into this project and work on building the features for IBM Quantum Platform. But I don't have a knowledge, but you might be working just on the quantum division yourself. So as you can see, there is a lot of features that you can work on, such as providing an overview for the users. For example, what are the updates on the platform? What are the KPUs that you have access to? What are the recent jobs that you are running? What is the plan on which you are on right now? What is your usage? Also, recent feature I think last year they implemented is something called functions. So you can see what are the applications that you can be running on IBM platform. Very interesting, an overview of the applications that a user can access. So you as a designer would providing information like what are the features and benefits of that specific application, ability to go and read the docs if you want to perform this operation, be alerted whether it is in your plan or not, related tutorials, related papers, a lot of like resource information management for the users. Now I assume you start seeing some patterns in the products out there, also a table with the backends that are available to you. So again, you need to, as a designer, find a way how to organize that information for the users. If you have a lot of these backends, how to easily grasp the information and basically be able to tell which hardware I need for my specific purposes, ability to filter and search these resources. As you can see, they also have like a table view and a card view, and then the workloads. I don't have anything in here, but this is where you would be seeing the jobs that you are submitting, similarly to what we are talking about in Quantinuum and IonQ. So they also provide a table of ability to track the progress on the workloads that you are submitted and filter, search, dive deeper into each specific workload. Basically provide users with tools to be efficient in the research they are running. Then we're going to jump to a different category, which is products that are integrated into a larger cloud offering in the big players such as Azure and Braket. Braket is part of AWS. So there are specific experiences out there for people that want to utilize quantum resources on Azure from Microsoft or Braket from AWS. So there's potentially a possibility for the product designers to work on these products. So I found some really nice screenshots for Azure, so we can go through it. So it's basically a marketplace where you can see what resources you have access to. So designer would be designing, again, like information architecture, easy way for the users to find the resources they need and label them in a quick to assess what resource they need. And then we have something that is very specific to cloud, like deploying a workspace, copying the workspace and deploying it at your own end, which you wouldn't find in a cloud console such as IonQ and Quantinuum, for example. So what we see here is that you have to create your own workspace, give it a name and like to which region you're going to access it from. And also there will be a storage account. So as you can see, multiple onboarding steps. I think this is always a great way, a great opportunity to improve these experiences. Again, choosing the provider, I think this is maybe a replica or a replica of the previous step, or it might be like a new one. I can't really tell. As you can see, it is pretty complex setup for someone that doesn't really utilize cloud resources. So now I think we have a review of like what we want to access. And now, as you can see, we already created Azure Quantum Workspace. As you can see, some quick starts, getting started steps for you to start using that workspace. And then we have notebooks. So notebooks is like a great way to start running computation. So notebooks provide you with a step-by-step guide in terms of how to perform an operation. There's more text explaining like each step, so it is a nice guided walkthrough. And then, so this was my notebook space. So you can add your own notebooks from your own PC. There is also a really excellent notebook gallery that is tied to specific quantum providers, with an explanation what this notebook allows you to do. So this is another excellent opportunity for product designer to come in, and because there will be more and more use cases coming into the future, so you can nicely organize this information for the user in easy to comprehend way. So we are gonna create a new notebook. This one, as you can see, this is someone wanted to try from the scratch a new notebook. And there is also educational platforms. So one of them is a Q-CTRL that has a lot of learning platforms. This is the most basic one that guides you through concepts in quantum computing. It is like a guided experience that provides you with easy to understand way to grasp these complex concepts, but still stays core to what is essential to know about quantum computing, so it doesn't strap it from like important information. And they have different offerings. So they have Boulder Opal, Black Opal, Fire Opal. In Boulder Opal, what is different in that specific space? As you can see, this is more so that you are running an actual jobs, actual use cases, so it also provides you with an information like your usage. Comparing it to the previous experience as a product designer, you would be working on providing this guided experience to learn new concepts. There's probably some gamification implemented, but whereas this is much more like a console, a cloud console, based on what I'm seeing, where you are presented with step guide, get started guides, information about what is your plan, and usage and activity monitors. So you would see that what is the progress on your calculations. So as a product designer, you will be operating similarly to, I think, a console product. You would be designing user experiences for someone that is running calculation, utilizing the resources. You might be designing experiences like how to utilize these resources better, some data visualization techniques, as you can see, and also like ability to track the jobs. So I think that's like a nice development in the educational platforms. So they are trying to bridge the gap with the consoles, where you have much more hands-on experiences, a learning path, than just like a guided walkthrough, kind of like a lecture, exercise-based experience. Another type of product that I would like to mention is documentation. In almost every product, documentation will be core of the developer experience. So for example, in the IBM Quantum Documentation, you can see that there was a lot of thought that designers put into designing these experiences, because it is a lot about how the user finds the information, how to communicate a lot of different concepts in a way that users would find meaningful at the first glance. So we can see that they divided the information to development workflows, API reference, tutorials, and then once you go into like a specific resource, you will see that there is like a guided experience for it. So for example, this is part of IBM Quantum Learning, again, like another product that the designer could work on. As you can see, it is guided with the menu on the right side. There will be a catalog with all the courses that you can participate in. The progress will be tracked. So again, similar to Q-CTRL in terms of quantum education, but then it is already like part of IBM and their larger offering. So if you start a course, then of course again there will be like a guided experience that walks you through each step and then marks your progress. And then lastly that I wanted to mention in terms of IBM offering is their composer. So this is probably the first product that comes to your mind when you think about quantum, is that there will be developers that would use the visual interface to create their circuits, but it's also a great learning tool for beginners. So this is sort of like a drag and drop circuit creation, and that also it spits out a code for you, for example in a Qiskit language, and also it gives you, there's implemented simulators, it also gives you a result of that specific circuit. So again, a lot of thought that goes into creating these tools that guide quantum developers through visual ways of building algorithms, circuits, etc. And I think there'll be more of those tools. As you know, it is a great tool for the beginners, and also there might be advantage to visual tools over code-based tools, but I would need to make another video on that. And then we're gonna jump into another sort of tools that are sort of like integrators, aggregators of different compute resources, and you can orchestrate your workflow connected to different resources. And one of them that I wanted to show you is Qbraid. So Qbraid has its own console, as you can see, and it has a lot of interesting features in it. So for example, a product designer would be working on all of those features in the console, like making, you know, all these features work together, but also ensuring that their user is guided in terms of like how they are utilizing such consoles. So we have like information about your plan, what are the available compute resources to use, some quick starts. Then we have, again, just like in IonQ console, Quantinuum console Nexus, concept of organizations, and within organizations you would have like all of your resources would be tied to this specific organization, as well as you know, the members, etc. So it's sort of like information organization. Then you have a list of all the devices, quantum devices available, with their status, their names. I see that the provider is missing here, and then you could learn about each of those resources. And then we have quantum jobs. So if you're submitting jobs to a specific device, this would show up here. They also, as I can see, they are also focusing on the community big time. So they also provide information about the upcoming hackathons. There's also courses. As you can see, because it is a new space, there's a lot of people that are developing this space, but also like trying to get into this space. So each of these companies, they're offering their own learning materials. So as you can see, they've created their own course that you can go through. There are also some tutorials, which is interesting, they're aggregated from different providers. So you have some docs and some tutorials. They probably provided that information into the platform. So as a product designer, you would be working on gathering all these resources from all these providers and implementing them here in this console. Then, just like in IBM, we have a composer, a little bit less fidelity in this one, as I can see. And we can see the trend that it is something that people like to use. And then there are docs specific just for Qbraid, and getting started. You probably can build your own course within Qbraid, I'm guessing, and information about the resources, deployment, stuff like that. Then we have another portal called Strangeworks, and this one works similarly to Qbraid. We can see there are jobs that you can run and submit to different resources. I really like what they did in terms of like, oh, you can have API key, so all these short links in one view. So in the catalog, you can see all these compute providers. So again, as a product designer, you would be working on aggregating all of this information, making sure that it's up to date, finding a layout that it's preferable by the users. I don't have any resources here, but we can see there's a lot of different providers, and also just like in IBM Quantum console, there were functions. We have the applications in here. So again, you would be working on updating this information, also providing people with the right information architecture, so it's easy to get around. And then again, jobs, if you run against all of these different providers, they would also show up here. So it would be also working in terms of organizing this information, letting users know what did run, what didn't run, and like why, things like that. And then also we have documentation, as I mentioned, like super essential part of like each product out there, letting users know what is available, how does it work, things like that. And then lastly, we have Covalent. It's by Agnostic Data Robot Company. And as we can see, it is a console that again allows you to orchestrate your compute across different providers. So you're basically building your infrastructure and managing it from this tool. Here we have a nice screenshot in terms of what is happening. So as we can see, as a designer, you would be working on like orchestrating what are the resources being used, what is still left, how much does it cost, what is the space available, things like that. But also, similarly to the jobs list, you would have a list of experiments and dispatches, any tags, associated status in terms of what was completed, what not, last active, for example, who submitted this, you can probably replicate this, things like that. So again, we can see a lot of patterns in terms of across these products, just different layouts, different concepts may be used in different contexts. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you enough context in terms of what products are out there in the quantum space. If you would like me to make a video on another subject that is crossing quantum computing and product design, please let me know down below in the comments. And also, if I missed any product that is relevant to this space, please let me know so other designers that want to join the space know that there is a product they can work on. See you till the next time.